Okay, so we're going to do the same for Deadpool as we did for Star Wars. Are you excited?
Yes.
Why do you look massive?
So huge.
Yeah, we're going to the midnight showing. We should just go to all the midnight showings of everything. No,
I'm well up for that.
ready to see Deadpool. We're actually waiting now for people to grab snacks and shit. Gonna go in, watch the film. My prediction is I'm not gonna be disappointed. It's gonna be awesome. Campaigning for this film has been nuts. So we will see you afterwards. That stinks. Like real bad. What is that?
Awesome.
Is that what they're putting them in
dynamite
now? Show the people. Do you get to keep that when you take it home?
Yeah, that's why I got it.
There's a big group. There's a big group. Stephen. You ready, Steve? Okay, guys. So here I am. I've just obviously come back from seeing Deadpool. Decided to actually do this on my own because whenever I go and see films, I always create controversy between my friends. They all absolutely adored it. I did enjoy the film, I laughed along with it. He was Deadpool. It was a Deadpool film. It was obviously so much better than X-Men Origins Wolverine. And yet I've walked out of this film feeling disappointed. And a lot of people straight away will be like, fuck you, it was the best film ever, it's the best superhero film ever. So I think I'll start by saying like the good points. Obviously the humour was amazing. The costume design looked great. The action scenes were absolutely phenomenal. They tried something a little bit different where for the first half of the film, we're dipping in and out of two different storylines and then you get yourself all caught up. I read things that were saying, of course, like, if we just sat and went through his whole origin, there wouldn't be enough action in there. So they intertwined it with current events, and I thought it was quite well done. And yeah, I thought obviously Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. The casting cannot get any better than that. And the film really was brutal at times. There were certain scenes like when he's being tortured in the Weapon X part, stuff like that is really just mental. My biggest issue with the film is it's my own fault. It's the hype train that they've been building. This film has just been marketed everywhere. And every single review I looked at was like, best superhero film ever, better than anything Disney's doing, probably going to be the best film of 2016 ever. And you read all these reviews that build it so high up. I was expecting to go in there and for it to be like Guardians of the Galaxy, where I went in, came out blown away. Thought it was going to be like the Avengers, I'd be blown away, or anything that Disney's doing. I was sat there and I was like, I enjoyed it, but I just feel disappointed because I feel like it wasn't the best superhero film ever. Me personally, I enjoyed the Avengers film. I enjoy what Disney's doing a lot more. Obviously, this is very different. There's a lot of sex and violence and swearing and stuff. I think there was a massive focus on him and his love interest, him and obviously Vanessa, who's copycat, but we don't actually see any of that in this film. They treat it as a classic love story formula, where he's fighting for the girl and everything. And those scenes just didn't grip me as much as when he's there and he's in costume and he's just being Deadpool and he's kicking ass. And I would have liked a few more fourth wall breaks. Some of them were fantastic. The use of Hugh Jackman being in there a lot, stuff like that was amazing. General pacing maybe threw me off, because it would be stuff like, obviously, there'd be a joke, and the whole cinema would start laughing, and they're still talking, like, the dialogue's carried straight on, and I'm sat like, I've just missed all of that, because I can't hear it, because everyone's laughing. And I think with beats like that, you need the joke, you need to allow a little bit of time for people to laugh before the core dialogue or the next joke's being set up. Like, this is the midnight release. I think it didn't help, like, when I went to see Age of Ultron, the cinema came alive. As soon as the film started, people were cheering, like, people were gasping, and they just really were into it. With this, not so much. Apart from people laughing at the occasional joke, no one seemed to be sat there shaking with excitement because here's Deadpool, I said it's weird with Deadpool because I'm very much from reading the comics. I'm used to a time traveling crazy Deadpool that's got all the voices in his head, and because he's got bloody madcap in his head because of Thor melting those two together, and I'm just used to this very zany, crazy side of Deadpool. And a lot of people have kind of said to me it's the first film. It's his origin. Like we'll get to that. But that's why I'm kind of like, do you know what, I want a Netflix series. I am gonna be that person that says like I think what Fox did was good. So I tell you, I'm not gonna say Marvel needs Deadpool for it to be good, because Fox have proven now they can make a Deadpool film and it can be good. But I think the execution of it, you need to explain his complicated origins, and we need to build up to a point where we get this crazy zany Deadpool. I think a series would have worked better. And I say a Netflix series because I'm looking at stuff like Daredevil, where Daredevil has the violence and all that kind of stuff in it. Jessica Jones has all the bloody sex scenes and whatnot in it. And then Deadpool could have those, but add the element of the humour as well, which would be something really different. I did enjoy it. It's like I said, I think the main reason I was disappointed was just because I let myself get a little too caught up in all the hype. But I thought the marketing was great. I did enjoy the cast. I would have maybe liked to see. I love the fact they did address about the X-Men, and I'm curious what's going to happen with them, because when we saw the plaque saying Xavier's school, I was like, holy fucking shit. But it's funny when even Deadpool says, like, isn't it funny? It's a big house, and yet only Colossus and Negasonic actually answer the door and stuff. He's like, it's almost like the studio couldn't afford anybody else. And it's true, it does feel weird that it's just those two that he calls upon that are there. I didn't mind the villains either. Like, Ajax was proper fucking evil, but he seemed a bit too generic. It almost felt like they were not scraping the bottom of the barrel, but trying to, like again with Guardians of the Galaxy. With Guardians, they go, here's Guardians of the Galaxy, and how many people were like, yeah, and went straight on Google to find out who they were. And these characters that weren't as well known really did well, And I think with Deadpool, obviously you have Deadpool, but Negasonic, Ajax, Angel Dust, they're not massive heroes on the level of Deadpool and stuff like that. So it's interesting character choices, I think. We also had, of course, for the after credit scene, that was fun, but a lot of people were like, are you fucking kidding me? Is that it? Because obviously it's Deadpool just going, why are you still here? The movie's over, all this kind of stuff. When he kind of walks off and you're expecting, like, okay, we're going to get something. And then Deadpool just comes back and goes, by the way, we're doing a Deadpool 2 and Cable's going to be in it. Cool. And walks off. You kind of sat there thinking, like, cool, but we would have lost our shit a lot more to see Cable, to see a teaser. Like, at the end of X-Men Days of Future Past, that little Apocalypse teaser, people fucking lost their shit for it. It's teasers like that. But it is interesting that Deadpool's walking this weird line between being his own franchise, his own universe, but still borrowing those elements from the X-Men. But with X-Men, I believe, winding down now, with X-Men Apocalypse and the third Wolverine film, but maybe Deadpool could be the start of a whole new X-Men universe if we bring them in little by little and he becomes part of the team and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, guys, my phone has literally got no memory left on it, and off the top of my head, that's really all I can say as an immediate reaction to seeing Deadpool in the cinemas. So it's like I said, I came out feeling disappointed, but it's not that I hate the film. Just maybe got a little bit too hyped for it, and there were just certain areas of improvement, as I've said, which of course there's going to be for any film. But yeah, all in all, it is funny and it is Deadpool, and it is definitely, of course, worth seeing. So yeah, off the top of my head, I can't actually think of anything else.